Hi and welcome to episode 24 of The Party Line. This podcast was recorded on Indigenous land and we stand in solidarity with our Indigenous brothers and sisters in their struggle against racism and capitalism.
Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling party line. Oh, I never will forsake thee, for I love this life of mine.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Jordan, we're really glad to have you. We're glad
it's
to have
my
you.
thing.
Sorry, someone's trying to talk.
What I was
I
trying
just can't
to
tell.
How did he time that so
That's
perfectly?
beautiful, actually.
We're glad to have you back, is what I
Thank
was
you.
trying to say. Last week, Omar and I
Oh, yeah.
recorded a special episode. Geordie wasn't here because he
Disaster.
was undisclosed. But we fucked it up.
A few times as
We
well.
found really creative ways of doing it too.
Yeah.
Apparently, I sent Jordan a audio recording of Omar that had the metronome going in
Playing.
it.
Yeah, it wasn't apparently. You absolutely did.
Yeah, which I feel offended by. Like, I don't need a metronome. I'm very rhythmic on the microphone. It's just in me, you know?
Oh, Jordan's phone's going.
Sorry,
so
my
maybe we
phone's
don't
ringing.
want you back.
No, maybe not.
I thought you said you put it on silent.
Airplane
I
mode,
did,
man.
My wife can get through the do not disturb.
Oh, that's good.
So-
That's really nice.
Yeah.
You had that on silent. Omar just pulls out his phone and puts his
They
on
can
silent.
see,
as
they can
well.
see. All right, let's go. Come on.
Okay. So
We're not going to get hyped like this.
well, yeah, hype. Wanted to talk about hype.
Hype.
We're really
What even is hype?
well, we don't know. It's a new YouTube
Yeah,
thing,
new
and
YouTube
we got
feature.
to number 6 on the hype chart.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive. I think it's for small creators
Small creators.
under a certain amount of subscribers. Their subscribers can hype videos.
I don't think you can say something's impressive if you don't know what the hell it is. Like, maybe
Yeah.
only 6 people nominated.
Well, no, I looked through the hype board and there was like lots.
I feel like it's impressive.
Was anyone
I'm
good on it
impressed.
above us or below?
No.
It's just us.
Oh, there you go. It's like us and then like Russian children opening toys from boxes.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched any of those kinds of videos in a long time.
Mm.
But the other thing we wanted to mention, so yeah, hype us if you're on YouTube. I think you can only do it on your phone. I can't figure out how to do it
Oh.
on laptop.
The list of like asks we're making of our listeners is quite growing because we also want you to do star ratings on Spotify,
Star ratings on
and
Spotify.
Apple,
and
and
then
subscribe,
And then also
Share.
support us on Patreon.
give us money.
And the like and subscribe.
And
You
the
could come
like
mow
and
the lawn.
Yes. But we have to ask these things because if we do it at the end of the episode, you won't hear it because you go too long. More on that in a moment.
More on that in just a sec.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done an intervention. You'll be happy about this one.
But anyways, it's just we want more people to hear our message. And so we just people have to help us grow. So that's that.
Mhm.
Then the other thing is that we have been invited to do a live podcast recording at the Brunswick Festival. And
Which is
by
exciting.
invited, I mean like invited by members of the Socialist Party. But that's good.
That counts.
I mean, they're the best people to be invited by.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You wouldn't want like Angus Taylor inviting us.
But I more meant it's not like
For
the
example.
Mary Beck Council has invited
yeah.
us or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that'd be
Surprising.
unusual.
So we're going to do that. It'll be on the 1st of March and we're going to make it a ticketed event. So if you look in our bio, there'll be a link to grab a ticket and you can come hang out with us at the Socialist Volunteer Centre.
We'll take
Mhm.
some questions.
Yeah, we're going to figure out like an interactive format. There'll be crowd surfing,
Maybe a bit of like bullying.
definitely bullying.
There always is.
You might be bullying us. We might be bullying you. We might
Yeah,
be bullying each
We're
other.
very democratic bullies.
Yeah. Omar, you wanted to talk about a new format.
Yeah, I think that we probably like all podcasters are just like falling in love with the sounds of our own voices and the episodes are getting longer. I think the first one was like 46 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was, or 50 or something.
Yeah, but it's also the one that has the fewest views.
Yeah.
So
So anyway, we're now like well beyond an hour and even an hour and a half. So
Yeah.
I think it's disgusting basically. So I'm learning from others, the greats. I don't listen to enough podcasts, but I'm starting to for tips and tricks. And they do smaller segments, shorter segments, single issue things. And so we're going to start
They
doing...
also have a team of producers and, editors and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we have Geordie, Charlie and Perse,
Yeah.
who we love very much. But so we're going to do smaller segments and release them through the week rather than like the
Yeah.
behemoth.
Smaller episodes, not segments. It's going to be like, they're still full episodes,
That's
but
right.
we'll do 2
Yeah.
per week.
So my a friend of mine told me that she listens to the pod driving to the tram on the way in, on the tram on the way back, and driving home, and she still doesn't get through it. And I think that doesn't pass the pub test. I don't reckon
Yeah,
that's what
too
you want.
long.
No one wants to listen to a podcast that long. So shorter ones.
You know what it's going to mean, though? It means that we're actually going to talk more.
Yeah.
Now we'll do 2 episodes of like an hour and 10.
Totally. Yeah.
No chance.
So, anyways, so this episode's going to be all about. Omar keeps on saying Andrew Hastie. I think you wish that Andrew Hastie was the one that won.
That chiseled jawline,
Yuck.
that death stare.
Oh God. So, but we're going to be talking about Angus Taylor and the Libs bill.
Like, who the hell is Angus Taylor? You know, like, he's such a grey blur. He's such a non-entity. We're trying to, we want to introduce you to the horrible man.
One journalist back in the day said that he was like a Kennedy son, which is pretty disgusting.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
like a Kennedy.
Speaking of Andrew Hastie, did you guys see this article from this morning?
Read it out to us.
Jacinta Price and Andrew Hastie declare they are not racist.
You know when you're doing that you're on the right track.
Yeah.
God. But before we get into who is Angus Taylor or Andrew Taylor or Angus Hastie, we just a few headlines. They relate. It's all in theme. But first, people would have seen the updated polling for One Nation.
In Victoria,
In Victoria, getting, is it 20% in the
Primary.
which is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
And sort of would indicate that
What a
it's
world.
not just the regional areas for them to be getting 20% overall in Victoria. So it's an argument that we need to keep on building up a left-wing resistance, because we can't have it be that One Nation is the breakthrough party in the upcoming state election. There needs to be a counterpoint to that, which is the socialist movement.
And all the polling now is just totally destroyed because they're just so used to doing the 2-party preferred
Yeah.
Liberal Labor.
Yeah.
And like the national polling, it's like, oh, Liberals are on 16%, Hanson's on 27%, but 2-party preferred Labor and Liberal, like what?
Yeah.
You know? So,
Yeah, exactly.
So like, Cos Samaras,
Samara. Yeah.
a pollster, he did a thing like, it's going to be impossible to predict the next state election.
Yeah.
It's going to be a seat by seat by election. Like everyone's going to be different with
88
different dynamics.
by-elections, yeah.
Because
So-
we don't know where a One Nation preference flows. Like
Yeah.
that's just, and if you're getting 20% of the primary vote, like no one knows where the hell that ends up.
Well, I would have thought more of it will go to Liberal than traditional. Like
You'd
traditionally,
think
it
so.
fragments quite a lot, but
Yeah.
like now they're obviously winning a lot of voters from
Yeah.
Liberal, but not exclusively. I mean, some must come from Labor.
Well, Kosamaris' thing today was that looking through the kind of preference flows and where it seems like voters are coming from, he says the overwhelming majority of former coalition voters. Then there's the far right parties that
Freedom.
sort of
One-
coalescing
I mean-
around One Nation.
Yeah. Like
And
the
then-
United Australia ones. Yeah.
No, you mean Trump. Trumpet.
Sorry, Trumpet of
Trumpet.
Patriot.
That was a great name. It was a really successful venture.
And then the smaller demographic, he says, is like former Labor voters in regional, semi-rural areas who feel forgotten, left behind.
Well, they are. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fair to them.
Yeah. It's just a shame that they think the option is Hanson.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the Libs bill happened. Before we get into Angus Taylor,
When did it happen? Can you guys remember?
on Friday.
Nice.
Thursday, wasn't it?
On Friday. It happened when we were in a meeting, Omar.
Yeah, it was us
Oh, yeah,
after the
you're right.
protest.
But they were jostling for it. No, Taylor resigned on Thursday.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because like everything the Liberals have done in the last month has all been designed to like take the glory off Israel. So like they fucked up the National Day of like celebrating Israel
Totally,
via
yeah.
Bondi by having like all the tensions that happened around that. And then like now when Herzog's on his tour and meant to be celebrating Israel again, they do their lip spill. Like
Yeah.
it's quite funny.
Yeah, Herzog actually made a quip about it because he'd just met with Susan Ley and he was talking about, it was a good meeting. Is she still like something like that? So,
Incredible.
Yeah.
but there was a really good headline from MSN No, I didn't just send you a private message. Stupid joke.
Yes.
7,000 reasons a day to dump play.
Yeah, and it was from one of the Liberals did a speech where they went through the stats. What's the stat? They said like we're losing 50,000 votes a month.
7,000 voters a day.
Yeah, because the primary, the Liberals got like, was it 5 million votes? Let me bring up the link. At the last election. And
what have you done? Omar doesn't know how to use my computer.
because it's a fucking Apple. Like you can't just click things. Anyway, it doesn't seem to be coming up. I think they've lost like 2.5 million votes or something since the last election. And so some number cruncher worked it out and used that as a justification for sacking Lee, which, you know, is a tragic event for the nation. But yeah.
So 7,000 reasons a day to dump Lay. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts this week as well. Not good ones, just like news podcasts. And I was listening to the 7 a.m. podcast and they had the political editor for news.com, Samantha Maiden, on it. And it was like such a wild, like it was a really funny podcast because the way that she talks was so conversational, very different to all the other 7 a.m. sort of podcasts, which are like very serious. But she was talking about how unfair it was that Susan Ley had been dumped and like she's just had a really hard run of it. And then she goes, yeah, and like Susan Ley's been in Parliament for 25 years and so she's on the old pension and she deserves it. Like she deserves to just take her pension and, you know.
Yeah. How much is she getting roughly?
$500,000 a year as opposition leader, like 450.
And so what does she get for the pension?
200 and something a year for the rest of her life.
It's good. You know, this is why they can represent the battlers, these people.
The rest of your life, like the fact that was ever a thing. And then they also got like the golden ticket thing, like for the rest of your life you just get free air travel.
Oh yeah, she still gets the, you know, Qantas, the chairman's lounge and all that jazz, and like she's still friends with Gina Reinhardt and everything. Like
imagine thinking that Susan Ley deserves $500,000 a year or whatever it is, 250, whatever Jordan just said, a year for the rest of her life. I can't believe it.
Do you think we'll get that one day?
No.
No. What's our policy on that?
Our policy would be to give it back to the people if we got it, probably.
Yeah. Maybe we should reconsider that. The closer I get to power, the more I want the cash.
No,
just kidding.
He's joking.
Our policy is to put politicians on a workers' wage.
Yeah. That's right. And we've all pledged that if we got elected, that's what would happen.
That's exactly what we'd do. Yep.
We could just supplement that with the Patreon though. Which maybe if we're really an MP, we'd get a lot of patrons. Just kidding. We donate that too.
Okay.
Next story.
Do you want to read this one out, Geordie? The last one.
The farewell gift one. This headline is called "What a Farewell Gift. Liberals Face Tough Battle for Lay's Seat."
So she very kindly has
resigned.
Yeah, you know, as an act of solidarity with Mr. Taylor.
Yeah. So now the Liberals are going to have to try and hold a seat very soon after the new guys in. And it's shaping up to be a bit of a political battle. There's a very popular independent in the seat of Farah who actually nearly beat Susan Ley last time. Like,
they got over 20%.
And like the sort of two-party one was like 50-something to 40-something. So pretty tight sort of contest. The Nationals will probably run. One Nation
definitely
will run.
One Nation's running, yeah.
And they're trying to get this independent from a New South Wales seat to run in the federal seat.
So just so people know, like the electorate is like Albury. That's the New South Wales part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the north side of the river and then like just all across the river all the way to Adelaide. So it's a really big electorate.
Yeah.
And the urban centre, like Albury, the teal one, or I don't know, they're exactly a teal, but that independent one. And then the rural areas was where the Liberals got their votes. And so, you know, there's another chance now with some total newbie. And that's these kind of places are the only places where, like, you know, it's like the independents are not like just a right-wing block to politics because the left is never going to win there. So it's just right on right violence. And, you know, if the Liberals, it would be great if the Liberals lost their seat to anyone really, but except One Nation, but to the Teals would be like sweet kind of victory for her. One of the reasons she resigned straight away, I don't know if you guys, is that like with that old system of pension, you get like your last salary sets what you get.
Oh.
So if she went back to being a regular schmuck,
Yeah.
she would have taken like $100,000
What a
pay cut or
fucking
something.
bastard.
So she literally resigned at her peak in order to maximize her
Oh
return.
my God.
I mean, it's pretty smart by her.
Yeah, so she's taking the cash.
Yeah.
She's destroying the Liberals on the way out.
Yeah.
Hopefully she continues to play like the Malcolm Turnbull role.
Well, let's.
Yeah, actually, can we talk about, because she did a reverse Malcolm Turnbull role, because when she was first elected, she was actually quite like pro-Palestine and was talking about, the like occupation of Palestine and whatever, and then she, has turned into whatever she is now.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's unheard of for her to do to flip back over and say like,
when it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Grow a conscience when it's irrelevant, yeah.
Yeah, but also I wanted to say, have you guys been watching the Labour talk about all of this?
Yeah, they're licking their lips.
Yeah, well, they're really excited, but their attack line is like, look, the Liberals have a woman problem. I can't believe they've, knifed their first female leader and blah, 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 blah,
Labour
blah.
would never do that.
Yeah, as if you weren't the first fucking party to do that.
No.
Like,
what are you talking about? They have
crazy. Yeah,
that's
but that's
really
their
funny.
attack line
Yeah.
at the moment.
It was
It's
a
really
feminist hero until they got rid of her.
fantastic. Great work.
Well, who is Angus Taylor? It's a question that many people are asking, and we don't blame them for asking the question. This guy sort of has a very kind of classic liberal vibe.
Butler.
Yeah. And there was a great headline from the Australian Financial Review. Taylor's big advantage could be that 35% of the voters don't know who he is.
Yeah. It's a good
I
start.
mean, it's true.
It's better to not know than to know.
Yeah.
So we want to kind of do a bit of a deep dive into the history, the sordid history of Angus Taylor. I think a very good starting point actually does come from Malcolm Turnbull. He's been like off the leash last week. Like he does this press conference like early in the week saying that the Liberals are in la la land.
Yeah.
And then Angus Taylor gets in and he says, Angus Taylor is the best qualified idiot you've ever met.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It's a good roast. The thing about Turnbull is like he's a proper rich, like fuckwit. And he feels entitled to just commentate on everything. And he's not left wing at all, but he hates the Liberal Party for what it did to him. Because, they brought down his heroic kind of rise to power.
Well, I mean, they knifed him twice.
Exactly. And I mean, he came back twice in a way. So like, they all deserve each other. But he's made it his mission to like destroy the Liberal Party. And so his commentary is always really enjoyable on that, not on anything else. So yeah, it's a good start. He's an idiot. He's a very well qualified idiot, but we thought we should go a little bit deeper.
Who's going to lead that?
Yeah. So it all starts on the farm.
I was going to say in the country.
Yeah. So Angus is a lifelong farmer. One of the articles described him as having dirt under his fingernails, which you can really imagine for a multi-millionaire lawyer. He is a fourth generation sheep farmer, and it's described in The Guardian as him being a scion of one of New South Wales' founding families. And they don't mean, of course, the indigenous families. They mean the squatters and the scum who came after they were all wiped out.
Yeah, and stole the land.
Or probably helped to wipe out Indigenous people,
Exactly. So, this is a guy whose family took this land, huge properties in the 19th century, and have held it ever since. So that's the kind of like grassroots, everyday kind of guy that Angus comes from.
He also he was a boarder at the King's School, which is in Sydney. And as someone who went to a private school in Sydney and played basketball at King's one time, that school is like, I feel like we could do an episode on King's. It's huge. It's like, it's massive.
Is it a castle?
It looks like it's imposing. It's got like castle looking buildings that are
like turrets?
In like the main bit, but it's also got like on the boundary there are like falling over kind of castle looking like ruins. Ruins is the word. Yeah. Because it's so massive. Like these kids have to take buses, like little buses between classes because the school ground is so big. And the
they
school
couldn't just
fees,
extend the walking, like the time in between periods or whatever.
No, because you've got to go to practically a different suburb.
And also, excuse me, these young people deserve to be driven around by someone else.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely.
They got to, like schools inculcate good habits.
Yeah, they got to acclimatise to the future that they're going to have. Yeah,
especially
exactly.
like,
And it's called the King's School because future kings go there. It's had many a royal family attend it. Yeah, definitely.
Why would a royal go to school in Australia?
I don't know.
Some of them go to Geelong Grammar as well. I don't know. It's just like
Yeah, you're asking the wrong people.
maybe it's a way of getting to know the antipodes or whatever.
Yeah.
The subject.
Boarding for a King's School student is $90,000 a year.
So like fees and board.
Yeah.
See, I looked at that number and I thought for something that's called King's School, 90K seems cheap to me. Like,
Yeah, but you got to remember that they're also funded by the government, like more than a public school equivalent.
But also like the average Australian household income is like 120K or something.
It's a ridiculous amount.
That's a lot of money for one child.
Totally.
I also remember there was a graveyard right in the middle of the grounds and it had like the
who gets buried there?
former principals and stuff like that. And it was like facing a certain direction and apparently I just thought that was quite funny.
What denomination are they anyways?
Probably Anglican.
Church of England, probably.
Yeah.
So then after he goes to King's School, that's, he needs to level up. So he goes to where the kings are and goes to Oxford.
Yeah, he was a Rhodes Scholar. And the Rhodes Scholarship is like worth a lot of money. And it always goes to really good, deserving underdogs like Angus.
Totally.
Fourth generation sheep farmers.
Like Abbott.
Tony Abbott, yeah.
Our good friend Turnbull.
Yeah. Was he a Rhodes Scholar as well?
Yeah, he said it was in this thing that he was doing about how crap Angus Taylor is. He's like, yeah, and Rhodes Scholarship, they're a dime a dozen. Look who's got it. Tony Abbott, me.
That's incredible.
That's very funny. And when he was in Oxford, he does, the sport known for being really inclusive and diverse. And can you guys guess?
Well, it's written down here.
Way to break the fourth wall, man. Rowing.
Yeah.
He's a fucking rower.
I mean, but rowing is collaborative.
Rowing used to be a bit working class. I remember I got a bit.
It didn't.
Apparently it did. So there's a story here. I posted a photo of a Labour MP at a yacht club. And I was like, yeah.
And they defended that, did they?
A rowing club.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was a rowing club or a yacht club. It just had yachts there. And then I was like, yep, classic, getting in touch with the working class roots. It was Brighton Rowing Club or Brighton Yacht Club or whatever.
There are so many workers who own yachts in Brighton.
Totally. So apparently that will upset Labor people.
No, but I'm sorry. On the Yarra River in the city, there are boat sheds. Private schools own boat sheds.
Don't worry, I'm on your side.
And it's only private schools.
Totally.
Rowing is not some proletarian endeavor.
Maybe back in the day, but it's just private schools that have rowing clubs.
Anyways, let's stop fighting about this.
Rowers are the worst people. Totally. Also, they wake up at 5 and are rowing at 6. That discipline is evil.
I read that. So, his thesis at Oxford was about beer prices and competition, and I don't know if the timeline works out, but the article was saying that it was because Margaret Thatcher had a policy where the government was buying pubs.
Oh my God.
That's so funny. But what a classic Australian, it's people wearing an Akubra when they're billionaires, or mining bosses putting on a high-vis vest. It's so in touch with the people, you're like a sheep farmer, multi-millionaire property owner.
Yeah.
And but your real passion is the price of beer and the local pub.
Totally. And it's good timing though, because it comes out at the same time we found out that we're making way more money from taxing beer than we are from getting money from the PRT.
That's right. Yeah.
And the PRT.
PRT, the Petroleum Resource Rent Tax.
Gas and oil and coal.
Because it's a thing about how taxes on alcohol is a poor tax.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it hurts working class people more.
So
then he finishes Oxford, gets his Rhodes Scholar, and then his star continues to shine and he continues to move up the food chain, works for Rio Tinto.
Classic.
And then he gets a job with McKinsey.
Yes.
Can you explain, Jordan, what McKinsey is?
Yeah, so in Australia we have consulting firms, and there's the big four, which is EY, KPMG, Deloitte and whatever. But then there's this one above them, which is the most prestigious of them all. And if you go onto their Wikipedia page, there's a whole section, there's a whole entry on controversies that they've been involved in. And you can scroll, you can scroll for fucking literally any time something bad has happened, they've been involved somehow. So the GFC, like intrinsically involved in South Africa and their state capture. Just like literally Enron, they were like chief advisors on the Enron kind of shit before it collapsed. Most recently in Australia, an Australian specific controversy that they've been involved with is they were given $1.6 million by the Australian government to advise on like some climate, like green renewal or whatever, while also at the same time consulting for Rio Tinto and BHP. So obviously, conflict of interest there. But they all do that, like KPMG.
They're doing a lot of consulting.
Totally.
Making a lot of money.
They consult with the most evil people on the planet. That's their thing. And go look at their Wikipedia page because it's quite funny.
I still am not really clear on what a consultancy firm
I know.
is.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've tried to figure it out and I think
it's like a management advisor that you get in when you really want to fuck people over. And like we need someone with no relationships here who doesn't care about anyone to tell us like how to be really fucking cutthroat.
Yeah.
I think it's that kind of.
You get consultants to save money or make more money.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works.
So we need a consultancy firm for the pod.
No.
No, we have our patrons for that. But yeah, so he became a partner in McKinsey.
Which is crazy, like becoming a partner.
It's a senior thing. And then he met
his wife.
his
Louise
wife.
Clegg. Is that what you were going to say?
No, I wasn't. I've forgotten about that bit. Yeah, go on.
But so she is like was a like pretty top level barrister in Sydney. And she writes for this right-wing news outlet,
feminist probably or something like that.
Yeah. She writes for a right-wing news outlet, Spectator, and like all of her articles are so funny because it's like she's such a classic like conservative. So she tries to be like, oh, the terrible left, but then also like, oh, we don't need all of this, we don't need Trump. It's like she just wants to fight for conservative values. And
fourth generation sheep farmers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so she actually got into the news quite a lot during the Voice referendum because she was really, really upset that people said it was racist to oppose the Voice. So
why would anyone say that?
But one of the funny things, because it's like,
they just didn't want Aboriginal people having privileges.
Yeah, it's so disgusting.
Fair enough.
So then Angus Taylor, like he and Louise Clegg, there's like actually a lot of controversies once he gets into Parliament. But one of them was that Louise Clegg wanted to have a tilt at becoming the mayor of Sydney. And so Angus Taylor, be
careful with your language.
Allegedly doctored documents accusing allegedly Clover Moore of allegedly using heaps and heaps of
$15 million
on overseas travel.
The mayor of Sydney. That was their accusation.
That was their accusation, and it was like a real alleged attempt to discredit Clover Moore.
Allegedly.
To get
I think if we say it enough, that's the test that the court uses in the defamation trial.
Anyways, the figure was actually $230,000, which is still quite a lot.
Yeah, you might as well just not lie about it. It's like, why the fuck is a mayor of a city?
Well, who knows?
But then suffice to say, Louise Clegg did not try and become mayor.
Yeah, and there were rumours that the document came from Taylor's office, but we can neither confirm nor deny those rumours.
But then he met his true love.
Yeah, John Howard, our true love. Every millennial's true love. That short, stocky man being an absolute fascist.
Great eyebrows.
Yeah, great eyebrows. So Taylor met him and Howard met Taylor, and it was love at first sight.
Beautiful.
And he convinced him to be a politician. He got him a seat. He became really good friends with the right wing of the Liberal Party, which Howard was a part of, Tony Abbott, and he's been a lifelong kind of friend of Tony Abbott. And that's like his people. Like when he first ran for leadership last time around, which kind of wonderful figure in the Liberal Party did he feel most close to promoting as deputy leader? It was a proto-fascist Jacinta Price. Like he thought, she's my people.
Yeah.
So that's his side of politics, and he's really like a bit of a blob. So people don't associate him with like Tony Abbott and that in the same way, but but that's actually who he's like culturally affinity with.
Totally. But he actually, so I mentioned before, there's like this whole controversies that happened. So the first one was Watergate. So if you've noticed all of these people on Twitter that still have droplets, like water drops next to their name on Twitter, the origin story is Angus Taylor had shares or had a relationship with this company that got given a tender that wasn't publicly, the tender didn't go out publicly, and it was worth something like $70 million or something like that.
I read that actually, $80 million.
Yeah.
And they'd bought the rights initially for like 20 million or something.
So this company that Angus Taylor didn't have anything to do with at that point in time,
allegedly.
And he didn't know anything about the sale. It was like this big thing. And then the next one was Grassgate. So because he's sheep farmer, there was an accusation that a property that he had a relationship to illegally cleared native grassland. And, we didn't know about it, etc. So he's known for these controversial sort of like
insider trading.
He spoke to the Department of Environment and got a briefing from the department about native grasslands and so on. So it was like very clear. Yeah. Well, very close conflict of interest, like skating close to the edge,
Yeah. So we think that, Angus Taylor serves as an inspiration for us all. All you have to do to rise to the top is to be a fourth generation sheep farmer, go to King's School, become a Rhodes Scholar, meet John Howard, and then baby, you'll get to the top.
You can make it.
Pull yourself up by your fucking bootstraps.
Yeah.
Riding out the party line.
Okay, so then Angus Taylor has come in and very immediately has put forward a bit of a vision of what the new Liberal Party under his leadership is going to look like. And you can ask what direction is the Liberal Party going to go in, and I think it's pretty clear that the answer is going to be
left.
To the right. It's so funny.
Did they find Mal's little red book somewhere?
Yeah, they found The Art of War, actually.
But it's so funny listening to some of like the liberal, sort of top types talk on these podcasts and these news programs. I was listening to Insider, whatever the hell, with David Spears, and he was talking to, I think she's the president of the Liberal Party or something like that. Anyway, some top person, and she was like, we really need to modernise. When you go to a Liberal Party,
Modern is good.
When you go to a Liberal Party branch meeting, it's like a 1987 Rotary Club meeting, and we just really need to attract to this new demographic. And I really appreciate the gauntlet that Paul Erickson, the Labor guy, put down to us. But it's like, modernising what? Like, you've just put in the position of leader this guy who is best buds with John Howard and getting advice from Tony Abbott. This is not going to solve your problems.
Yeah. And this is a party that continually opposes any reforms that would make housing more affordable or accessible for the public.
Yeah.
Any investment into action on climate change, or even just basically believing in it.
Yeah.
There's actually substantive issues here which mean that people are not that attracted to the Liberals. It's not just like the face. I mean, even if it was just the face, I don't know if Angus, what question is he the answer to?
Yeah.
He's not a charismatic individual. He's not a talented individual.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
Just absolute wishful thinking.
On the question of modernising the Liberal Party, I used to know this guy in the Young Libs, and he was kind of leading this campaign for the Liberals to be more progressive on housing. Obviously that was doomed to fail and whatever. But they recognised that, Labor was being shit, whatever. This is 2 years ago. And it's well, we can actually do something here. And then every single step of the way was poo-pooed by the adult Liberal Party, and now he's no longer in the Liberal Party. So it's it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, there was a great Kathy Wilcox thing of we have no policies, no principles, no vision, no credibility, no gravitas, no consistency, no popular appeal. You're right. Angus Taylor is the leader who best represents us. And that's pretty much where it's at.
On the money every time.
Every time.
Kathy Wilcox. She's
the best. So immigration obviously is going to be a key thing that Taylor is going to focus on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the first thing in his speech, right? We need to have more control over our borders.
Yeah.
If you come here, you got to sign up for our way of life. That kind of thing. So that was like a very strong signal. He talked about numbers being too high, etc. So,
and it's like the way that they talk, I just think is so like out of tune with reality. Obviously, like they're disgusting. But in his like speech to the press after he gets, announced as the leader, our borders have been open to people who hate our way of life.
Just constantly coming in.
Like. What is the Australian way of life? Sorry, like
friends, barbecues,
social cohesion,
and like invading Turkey.
Yeah. But yeah, it's sort of like one of the things that sort of is this lament going on in the liberal media.
Oh, and biscuits.
That's still the invading
biscuits
Turkey
made of oat.
But this lament that's going on is like the Liberals can't just try and, copy One Nation. Like, please, can you not do this? Because there obviously is a section of like status quo mainstream society which jittery about the prospects of One Nation being the main opposition force in Australia. They want the Liberal Party to become the party that it once was, to have dominance, to be able to successfully challenge the Labor Party. But it's just sort of the thing that sort of centrists can never really grasp, which is that there is a polarisation that exists in society. And those cleavages are getting pretty deep.
Yeah, and this is what we saw in America as well. Like the first time Trump ran, there were all these Republicans saying, no, we don't need to go down this path. Like we've got to stay in the sensible, extreme right where we were, not go to totally far right and all this kind of stuff. Like there was a whole movement around that. But then just over time, people have adjusted and adapted, and that's been seen as the only way forward. Because the thing about it is, these politics, yes, it pisses off obviously the left, the radical left, but just the left in general. But and it probably alienates like a chunk of people in the center, but it really galvanizes the base, right? And one of the things of politics, you need your people to be inspired and motivated. That's like the starting point. You can't win over wavering people if you're wavering and undecisive and your stuff yourself. So the far right thing, for all their problems, they're cohering their own people and they're on a warpath, just anyone who's ever used Facebook in the last 5 years like would know that the fascist comments are just like hegemonic in that space. People over the age of 50 kind of stuck on this dead medium. But so that's having an effect, and like the Sky News thing, like Fox News, there is this increasing global audience for far right politics. And if the Liberals are going to stabilize their own part of the world, which is actually their first task, they feel like logically they need to adjust to that. And so more and more Liberals will accept that, I think, because you can't recohere the center when you've got nothing to offer. The center, boring bipartisan politics, occurs when society is stable, when everyone's kind of broadly meeting their needs, everything's kind of going along fine. That is not the world we're living in right now. There are clusterfucks happening left, right, and center.
Yeah. And I think that it's sort of on a whole bunch of different political questions. The Liberal Party is signalling a further turn to the right. So Jane Hume was elected as the deputy leader to support Angus Taylor.
The one who wanted to abolish work from home.
Yeah.
Really popular policy.
Which is funny. Like one of the points comes out of this is that both Angus Taylor and Jane Hume were seen as personally responsible for two of the biggest failures in the last federal election. So Angus Taylor was the shadow treasurer when they decided to not support Labor's income tax cut proposals. I think it was income tax.
Yeah, it was like a tweak to the income tax.
And then, Jane Hume had the ban from work from home policy, which they had to withdraw as a policy mid-election because it was that unpopular. Funny as hell. But she, in her speech to the press after she was announced the deputy leader, opposition leader, was like, we can't close our minds to nuclear energy. We can't have an ideological
winner
approach.
policy. Yeah.
It's just this question has been such a big question in Australian political history.
Really modernizing. Let's go back to fucking nuclear energy.
It's so expensive as well. Like they keep just lying. I mean, obviously they always lie. it'll be so much cheaper to have nuclear. Like nuclear would cost tens of $billions to get it going in like 30 years or something.
I was going to say like the time scale of it is just phenomenal.
Yeah. But
So-
it fits with their like imperial ambitions, right? Because you got nuclear powered submarines, you want nuclear powered electricity stations. You know, oh wow, I guess now the only thing we need is a nuclear bomb, you know, like it all kind of flows into each other, you know.
And then the other thing is just that the election of Taylor to the leadership, it boosts and shores up the extreme right that already existed inside the Liberal Party. So Susan Ley is so-called moderate, as if she's a fucking moderate. Yeah. This is bullshit. But this was a repudiation of the sort of moderates in quotation marks inside the Liberal Party. So it strengthened the position of both Jacinta Price and Andrew Hastie.
Yep. Yeah, Price has come out and been like she was obviously just silent for the last few months. I don't know whether it was obviously some sort of plan. I don't know what exactly the plan was, but she came out like a few days ago and was just like, "Yep, I don't resile at all from my comments attacking Indian migrants."
Yeah,
and saying Labor was like literally she said Labor was importing Indians because he knew they would vote for Labor.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, firstly, there's no political evidence that Indians are like inherently more social democratic or whatever, but it's also just pure racism, like just group kind of dismissing a whole group over some sort of electoral thing. So she stood for that, and the opposite, the media were asking her questions like that were trying to give her a way of like softening her stance.
Totally, yeah.
And her response was all like, "No, the main thing I've learned is I'm gonna fucking get anyone who tries to criticize me." So it's like that's kind of where things are at. You know, like the right wing feel confident. There's talk about both of them being on the front bench. Which like Jacinta Price, it's really funny. She's like she's from the Northern Territory, right? Like that's her electoral base. But like no black people basically vote for her, you know. She's like a representative of white racists. It's like trolling. It's like, yes, we've got one Indigenous woman who we can put up as our like shield to be fascist. Yeah.
And her politics are fascistic. Yeah. Like it's incredible.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then like what was it on that point on those comments? Like Susan Ley, I believe, asked her to apologize for the comments and she refused to. And like she'll get no question about apologizing for those comments from someone like Angus Taylor or like Hastie or whatever.
No, that's where they want to go.
Yeah. And then so the thing about Hastie is obviously he didn't make a tilt for the leadership.
He's still young.
And I think the point about
Hastie... he's not racist.
The thing about Hastie is that he is very popular with One Nation voters. So Lay's popularity with One Nation voters was minus 50, whereas Taylor's is plus 8. Hastie's is plus 19. So he does well with them.
It's that car video, right?
Yeah.
Like,
what's the car video?
He made like, so at the same time, like the Liberals were like giving Labor shit at Senate estimates for like making all these polished social media videos and whatever. Andrew Hastie spent like, I don't know, $1 million making a video for social media with a classic car kind of thing.
Like a V8, you know.
Yeah. Nice car, like beautiful car.
Like, Aussie cars,
there's
lots of petrol use, you know.
Holden?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Anyway, so he's very popular with One Nation voters because his political sort of views are the same. Yeah. He copped a lot of shit around the hate speech laws because he'd been campaigning hard against them, but obviously got whipped by the party room and ended up voting for them. But I feel like one of the things about Hastie is that he's waiting in the wings because it's a long time really until the federal election rolls around, and he's smart for not taking up the position straight away because he can be like this sort of outsider.
I mean, he's read The Art of War.
On your advice.
Hands are clean. You know, he's less responsible for what's going to happen. So the polls can continue to get worse, but he can continue to build up his profile.
And Sky News and the Murdoch press are already sort of agitating. Against Taylor. Like a number of them are already criticizing him for being too moderate. You know, whatever. He doesn't really have the support. He can't really do it. And I mean, he's going to lose. He's going to have a catastrophic defeat at the next election, absolutely guaranteed. Doesn't mean the right vote doesn't go up, and we get a huge swathe of One Nation. You know, so it won't be necessarily a victory for the left, but I think the Liberal Party is set up to do like even worse in the next election. Yeah. So yeah, playing the long game. Like Hastie, is quite young, like in his 40s. So by politics standards, like he's an absolute babe in the woods. So he's playing the long game.
Yeah.
And definitely, you know, like I think we mentioned the other week, a coalition between Nationals, Liberals and One Nation under One Nation's leadership or whatever, depending on the balance. Like he would be well placed to negotiate that, you know.
Yeah. And like this whole time, like Labor's just sitting there being like, haha, this is so good for us. Like, look at these people. But like the polls are coming out, like the Victorian state election polls are coming out. It's like Liberals, One Nation, like Labor, then Greens.
Yeah, Labor
like,
on 23
yeah,
in that poll.
It's like
in Victoria, which they've governed for like a quarter of a century.
Yeah.
And before that, another quarter of a century sort of thing.
Yeah, so I mean, the tone of this podcast has obviously been quite, you know, lighthearted because Angus Taylor really is just a sort of like
blustering
blue blood,
cut out figure, sort of, you know, whatever. But I think that what you guys have just sort of pointed to, it is serious what's happening right now, which is a strengthening of the far right in Australian politics. And for the Liberals, they feel the only way to, not perish is to continue to help push Australian politics in a more right-wing political direction. So it makes the need for left-wing politics all the more serious. We need to find ways to challenge the right in all different fields of society. We can't let the One Nation vote continue to grow and for these politics to be normalised, because the more that the politics of One Nation are just incorporated in and the more they seem acceptable, the more people will go to it.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, like that's the thing that gets propagandized about all the time. So it becomes normalised for everyone. And we've got to push back against it, and we've got to push back everywhere that they are, and that includes at the moment in the polls.
Yeah, and like one of the things that our party does, of course, is we do all the street movement stuff, you know, all that, and so very important. Ultimately, is the most decisive thing, like what happens on the streets and in workplaces. But like in the short term, One Nation aren't organising street protests. You know, it's not as if like there are the far right rallies, but they're nowhere near as big as their support would suggest they should be, and so. Yeah, we need to respond to those rallies and organize our own, but actually being out there in working class and all sorts of communities, talking to people and making the case that no, the problems are not migrants, it's the rich, you know, blame the billionaires, not people coming here trying to seek a better life. Those arguments are important. They can be a bulwark against people going to the far right. And the thing is, most people have never heard an alternative. They just know Liberal, Labor, same old shit, nothing ever changes.
Yeah.
Oh, One Nation, they're an option.
Yeah.
Now, the people who gravitate to her are not really our people, but the more that society and politics is in flux, the more that people can go in all sorts of random directions. So we need to build a strong left pole of attraction that can popularize an argument about who's actually to blame for this problems that we face. And it is actually people like Angus Taylor, you know, like the owner of a massive property portfolio, like their farm is just so enormous and they have houses everywhere and so on. All these people, like they are the problem, and Labor Party is also the problem. Yeah. And that's the thing as well, because when the left just gets sucked in behind the centre left, well, then the right becomes the only opposition. We don't want that. We need a real opposition on our side.
So join the Socialist Party.
Yeah. And get active. There's campaigns already in New South Wales and South Australia. Yeah. Like currently out there in working class neighbourhoods, door knocking people.
We're doing stuff.
And we're doing stuff too, of course. Yeah. I'm not sure if we've started door knocking yet, but there's stuff going on in all three of those states and elsewhere too. So sign up, get involved.
Riding out the party line.
Another thing that's happening in politics at the moment is the teachers have just announced that they're going to go on strike.
Yeah. So the executive of the Teachers Union in Victoria met on Thursday, I think it was, and just announced that we're going to be striking on the 24th of March. Which is really cool. That's basically the earliest date or one of the earliest dates possible after the ballot is returned, the protection ballot. So we're voting this week and next week. I think there's 2 weeks of voting. And then the 24th is set as a strike day. It's really important. Teachers in Victoria haven't struck.
It's over a decade.
2012 was it?
Yeah, it's a long time.
It's a fucking long time. Like I was still in university learning to be a teacher when they were striking. And we all joined the protest, but it wasn't a real strike. So for us. So it'll be exciting now that teachers can take action. A lot of people are really into it. There are some people raising questions like, oh, can we afford it or whatever? But one of my comrades did some research and worked out that like we would have to strike for 34 days to lose as much money as we've lost because of the shit last agreement. We'd have to go on strike for 34 days. So we can't afford to go backwards again the way we have, because we got like 3% a year divided into 1.5 little segments when inflation was so much higher than that. We're so far behind where we need to be. So the strike is just like the first step. But actually the comrades in the socialists in schools are arguing that we're not going to get that with a one-day strike.
No.
You know, we're going to need ongoing strike action and multiple day strike action. And in regional meetings and school sub-branch meetings all around Victoria, they're the kind of arguments that we're putting up, and we're getting a lot of support. So that's cool. But check out Socialists in School on Instagram. If you're a teacher, sign up to your union so you can strike, because you can't strike if you're not in the union. But as soon as you join, you get protected to do that. And start inspiring your mates to get involved. And if you're not a teacher or a student, you can go and support them on the day anyway. There'll be a big rally at Trades Hall and then a march to, wherever, demanding better conditions, better pay rise, funding. Like Victorian schools are the lowest funded in Australia. So
lowest paid.
And lowest paid, exactly. Those things tend to go together. So yeah, it's a very important fight. It's one that's, important for the whole community, because we all have, or will have mostly kids in schools. So we have an incentive to make them as good as possible.
Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you.
Love yous.